Welcome to the GunChannels.com early lobby. I'm Night Strike. Thanks for listening. What's up?
Hey, how you Hey, night strike.
I can barely hear you.
Is that better?
Speak closer into the microphone.
Okay, I'm trying. Is that better? Give me a minute. I'll work on it.
All right.
Do.
Everybody strong armed me into making a lobby. What the hell? Right as I'm working on trying to get this fucking handguard on this gas block.
It's like watching a monkey peel a banana.
No, I'm trying to get this East German handguard on this gas block, and yeah, gas tube, I guess. Really, it's a pain in the ass. I've almost got it on. I'm like, I've only got like a centimeter left. Well, not even centimeter. I have a small part left, but the thing is, it won't turn any further.
German?
Yes, it is an East German.
So if you fail to install that, Gulag 3 weeks.
No.
Yes, comrade, the Gulag 3 weeks.
No. But that's what I'm working on right now. I've already got the. I had to use the Dremel on the lower handguard to get the lower handguard on, and I got the lower handguard on, but the stock. I have no idea what Foose did to this stock, but I cannot get the buttstock off. It's like he used super glue for the damn thing. But knowing Foose, he probably did. So I don't have the stock on, but I have to get. I found out that I don't have all the parts. I have to get the butt plate and the swing swivel for the stock.
See, there you go. Hot rodding your commie cruiser.
Hey man, I've already hot rodded my AR-15. I've got a bump fire stock on it and a bayonet.
You're communizing your rifle. But you don't want to go to the Gulag for fucking it up.
He's not fucked.
It's the
He's
price of
fine.
admission.
Rifle is fine.
How about now? Can you hear me any better?
Sound like you're in a hallway.
Now I'm in the kitchen.
Close enough.
Let me know if you hear too many clangs and bangs and background noise.
Is this better?
It's just really quiet. I mean, the clarity is good. It's just the volume's low.
Okay.
Here's the hilarious thing. Since I put the East German handguard in, the whatchamacallit, the what is it? The barrel cleaner. What is it called again? I can't forget it. I'm gonna have to look it up. The cleaning rod. That's what it is. The cleaning rod goes in just fine now after replacing that handguard. I have no problems getting it in now. But when I had that other one from Foose, it wouldn't go in.
The barrel cleaner.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
His official name.
No, it's the cleaning rod. That's what it is. So. The pistol grip went on just fine. Yeah, let's see. I can get this working.
Yeah, so I want to start an impromptu gun channels gentleman.
That's about as far as I've
shot
gotten
show.
right now. I got the lower handguard on, and I
Yeah.
got the pistol grip on.
All right.
Yeah, so. That's what I'm working on right now.
Made out of stellinium.
What?
He's made out of stellinium. Stellinium.
No, it's made out of Stasi tears.
Shit. Now we have this joke in when I used to play World of Tanks, actually, about how overpowered everything in the game that was Russian was. So we would tell everybody, "Oh, it's because it's made out of stellinium.
Yeah.
Cannot be penetrated."
Yeah, well, I've got the handguard on, I've got the pistol grip on, so I'm working on that gas tube handguard, and that is a pain in the ass. I cannot get it to move another inch.
Apparently, we're covering for hashtag Sluggy Slack. Smeggy
Well,
Slack.
Well, I'm always covering for Smeggy.
That sounds
That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Well, most of the time he's covering for me, so it's okay.
Yeah, so I'm on this local community thing on Facebook, and everyone's bitching about Meryl Streep, right?
I wish she would shut up.
And I had like a moment of brilliance when I wrote it. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I just saw that on TV.
Yeah, I wish Meryl Streep would just shut up because she's only digging the grave deeper for the journalists.
Yeah, really.
I'm not going to be able to find it. Basically, all I said was, I was like, look, they're just glorified monkeys dancing in front of the music box wearing a fez. We don't want to know what the fuck they think. You know, we pay them to act. We don't even know, 99% of these people who they really are. And every time you ask them something about their personal life, they say, respect my privacy. But then when you don't want to hear them talk about anything and you just want them to be entertaining, they ram this shit down your throat at venues that weren't even politically driven.
Anyways, oh no, we lost Sean, but yeah, I wish some actors would just shut up. I mean, if you don't have anything positive to say, don't say anything.
Well, they think everything they have to say is just so important. It's an ego thing.
Well, of course it's an ego thing. It's always been an ego thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bruce Willis is a gun guy.
Oh, look, I'm in twice now.
Oh, 2 Seans.
I don't
We
know
had
where I dropped off.
2 Daniels last night. Now we have 2 Seans.
Well, the Hangout on my phone always does that. Like I join and in the first 2 minutes.
Okay, who's using a drill? I heard a drill.
That's me.
What are you doing? Building a
clock.
You're building a clock?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Clock lives
I'm in
matter.
Texas. Yeah.
And Sean's in here twice.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I was getting lobby shamed in the Daily Gun Show chat because, Smeggy wasn't going to start his.
Yeah. I was going to make one of these after the show, but I'm only going to be here for another 20 minutes now. So.
Yeah, you're at work, aren't you?
Yeah. It's kind of nice joining these lobbies right after work. It makes the my last hour of the day go by really fast.
Yeah, the lower handguard I have isn't the regular wood one. It's the Bakelite one. So,
dude, stellinium.
No. The gas tube handguard and the regular handguard, the lower handguard, I guess.
You know why it has that color, don't you?
Is made from capitalist tears.
No, it's dyed in the blood of, people who have opposed the Great Stellium.
No, that's the walls painted in Siberia.
No, in Siberia, the punishment is working in the salt mines while wearing your wife's head as a hat.
Speaking from experience.
I'm just familiar with the punishments. I wrote the book.
Yes, book says you suck. I hadn't realized you were so handy at work. What is it that you do, Sean? I thought you answered the phone all day.
Oh, I kept muting it backwards. Sorry. Well, I basically write all the technical service manuals for the stuff I sell, and then I help my assemblers build some of the larger machines or just the larger volume machines that we sell for Amazon orders and stuff. It's not actually a clock, but I was just joking about that. No, I build stuff for like school districts and school sporting events, music programs. Our biggest contract sale is to Boeing, actually. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done putting it together. This is one of the smaller ones, but I had to make 36 of them today. Hang on, I gotta mute and drill this shit. So anyway, yeah, it's like I get paid to be the bastion of useless knowledge when people call in with their freaking hardware problems all the time, and I have to sit there and try to figure it out over the phone. It's like doing a root canal, you know, working through the anus side, trying to figure out how to fucking fix their shit over the phone. But sometimes
So
I'm
it's
good
like
at it.
trying to help someone in a lobby chat. Gotcha.
I don't know, man. The only person that I had a hard time working with in a lobby chat was a guy who came in and asked if it was possible to survive a 50 AE to the head at point blank range. Hashtag Frankie Mulders forever.
No, it's not possible. And even if it was, you'd have to be a really bad shot.
I don't know. Like that guy just, you could tell he was just trolling. So it got to the point where, like,
He
at
was an
first,
anti-gun troll. That's what it was.
well, I mean, at first I was trying to explain to him just, you know, fluid dynamics, shockwaves and things like that, right? And Dano tried, like everybody tried, because they thought it was a legitimate question. But then he just kept coming back with it over and over and over. And I finally got fed up with it. I was like, why don't you just try it and find out?
I bet that shut him up.
Yeah, write the book on it. Give us firsthand experience. Fucking put it on Facebook Live or some shit.
Facebook Live.
Mm,
Wow.
see how that works out.
I'm
I
not
just saw
sure
a
it
video of this dude. He was, I think it was in northern Colorado. He was on a snowmobile trail,
Mhm.
and he got attacked by a moose. Like, he was sitting on a snowmobile, and this moose charged at him the first time, took about 5 steps toward him, then backed off. And he came at him a second time, got even closer, and then backed off. And then the third time, he ran up on him. He started kicking his legs. So, like, he shoved the moose with one arm, pulled out a Glock 30, and emptied the magazine into him, and then rode off. And, like, all the people were like, he did the right thing. Because, I mean, with the way a moose attacks, it hits you 3 times. It goes first just to see if you're paying attention. It goes second, even closer, to see if you have any way to defend yourself. And then the third time, it's just going to stomp you to death. So after the third time, he just fucking dropped that shit. Hammer down.
Hmm.
And he just rode off. Alright, let me plug this thing in. I'll show you what it looks like. This is one of the smallest and cheapest ones I make. That's my feet. Yep. Alright, so that's one of my machines.
Hmm.
And it's going to go through its little... Oh, look, I can do a G-Webs moment. I could be a talking hand. Awesome. Finally. So anyway, then I got to set these things up real quick, so it's no big deal. I turn this off because it annoys people. I turn that down because people don't like to wait. I turn that on because people tend to make their discs really full. And then I turn the counter on, so when someone sends it back saying that they didn't use it and I find out they made 10,000 copies, I basically destroy them in the refund.
Hmm.
So, I mean, essentially the way it works is, you know, like say you have one of the first people I sold these to, oh, I gotta have a Gmail. One of the first people I sold these to is school districts, because when I started working at this place, I was like just about a year out of high school, and I sold it to my own school district's music program. It was obviously a lot bigger.
Mhm.
And they would
Is that
film
a
like
copier?
yeah, they would film like the halftime shows, like the marching band halftime shows, to watch how the formations worked and everything.
Hmm.
And so what they would do is they would film it, and then they needed to make like 700 copies of it. So basically what you do is you just put the master in here, and then you flip that closed, and you just put 3 blanks in here, and then when you start it up, it'll pull all of them in automatically. And then once it's finished, it spits out the good ones and it holds in the bad ones. And it'll tell you at the end if it failed or whatever. But I mean, that's all it was. And I sold it to my school district, and then that school district referred me to like just about every school in Texas. So we started selling them to all the schools in Texas. And then like the football programs bought them, the basketball programs bought them. And then I got a call from Boeing, and they decided they wanted 250 of them a year on a contract every year. So the big ones, like this is a 1 to 3, so it only weighs maybe about 16 pounds. And then the biggest one I make is a 1 to 11, and it weighs 61 pounds. And my mail just arrived. Thanks. So anyway, that's what they are. That's how they work. There's nothing fancy to them. This thing's still on?
Yeah, I'm just quiet right now. I'm trying to get this last leg because I've got like just a small part to get on.
I don't see my little voice thing moving around since it
Yeah.
shows me in here twice.
I don't know if you've got video or whatnot right now. Do you?
Yeah, when you screen share, I can see it.
Check this out. I've almost got it on. It just got a little bit to go. See that?
Yep.
It's not on all the way yet. So
The diesel will make it fit.
what diesel?
I don't know. I saw Adam Savage say that one time when he made like the world's biggest subwoofer in a Mercedes, and it wouldn't seat. So he's like, "Don't worry, when the diesel will make it fit." It used a piston, and it undulated this like 50-inch subwoofer. It was
Wow.
cool.
I don't know. I like the MacGyver episode. Original MacGyver, not new MacGyver. Ugh.
Yeah, is the new MacGyver, is that a different actor?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that one.
It's awful. You don't want to.
Mm.
So yeah, my entire Christmas bonus went to hell.
Uh-oh, what happened?
First of all, my insurance company called me at like 7:30 this morning, and they asked me why I sent my car to the dealership potty shop on the weekend. And I said, because you idiots sent me a letter saying to do that. And they're like, well, we didn't even process your claim yet. And I said, look, I did this shit on the 28th. I know it was a holiday weekend. I figured you were going to be a while to respond. And then all of a sudden I get this letter 2 days ago saying, go to your dealer, give them this paper, we'll take care of everything. So I just followed the instructions in the paperwork because I don't make a habit of getting into car accidents. This is the first claim I've ever had. So, you know, I didn't know what to do. I read it, I saw it, and I did it. And I went and got a rental car, and, you know, I was on Saturday for that. I think it was Saturday. And, you know, I thought it was all under control. And then he was like, well, you're going to have to go back to the dealer and use that app again and take all the pictures because we didn't get them the first time, despite the fact that I had a confirmation and a response letter and everything. So I was like, whatever. And then I told him, I'm like, so did you guys hear about the rental thing? And has it been switched over? And he goes, oh, your policy doesn't cover rentals. And I'm like, what the fuck am I paying you people for full coverage insurance if you're not going to cover my fucking rental? And he was like, well, it says that you joined your family's policy. I'm like, yeah, my family's been on this policy for over 30 years. I'm like, you're going to tell me that you changed your policy and you never told them about this? And they're like, well, we didn't know that they needed to be informed. I'm like, we've bought and sold like 7 cars or maybe 8 cars in 30 years. And you didn't think it was pertinent information to fucking tell us about this shit. And now that I need it, I don't have it. So yeah, it's coming out of my pocket. My fucking deductible and the entire car rental is coming out of my pocket. It's like practically my whole Christmas bonus just went to fucking bullshit.
I would drop, no offense, but I would drop that car insurance company.
I might have to because I mean, shit, I've got that and my homeowner's insurance on it for over 30 years, and it's like we don't make claims, you know, and they keep raising my shit every year, and I'm like, what the fuck are you raising my insurance for if I've never had tickets or accidents? Now I have an accident, but I mean, you know, that was before all this shit.
Who do you have?
State Farm.
Yep.
Like the adjuster's totally cool about it. It's just, you know, he was like, it's just not in your policy, and it's like they never.
I've got State Farm too, and we've had it longer.
It's fucking crazy. You know, I've only been in 2 accidents before, and they weren't my fault. So it was like, my coworker's brother is a lawyer, so every time I get into a wreck, I call him, and he handles everything. He's like, don't worry about it. Just give me their insurance information. I'll make the reservations. You can go pick up a rental. We'll take care of everything. I'm like, sweet. You know, all I basically do is show up and sign things. And it's like this time, it's an accident that I finally caused in driving for 22 years. And, you know, I've never done this before. I've never been at fault for anything like this before. But they told me, you full coverage. You know, we'll take care of everything. It's okay. It's no big deal. First accident, your first family's claim. We'll take care of everything. And then they turn around, they're like, oh, we can't give you a rental. Fuck. Let me mute this. I got to drill again.
Yeah. You really should check on State Farm because it might be that you may need a lawyer to help you mitigate some of this stuff with State Farm.
I'm not really worried about it anymore. It's like now that I know what's going on, I'm just going to fucking take the rental car that I picked up Saturday back tomorrow. I needed it today, but I'll take it back tomorrow because, I mean, they took a $350 deposit, but, you know, if I only kept the car for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and bring it back tomorrow, I don't think that's $350 worth of rental, so I'm sure they'll just take the difference out. And I guess I'll have to drive my E-Type. I have a caretaker for a classic car, so I'll just have to drive up there and go pick it up and drive that for a few days. It's just I didn't know I was going to have to, you know? It's really annoying. I haven't driven that car in about 3 years, so I'm kind of excited.
Is it still working?
Yeah, it still works. It's a 1967 Jaguar E-Type coupe. Beautiful.
What is that? Your dad's car or yours?
Nope, I helped a friend build his convertible, and then he bought me the coupe, and then we restored that one together. And he said, "This one's yours, and the convertible's mine." I'm like, "That's fine. I don't like the convertible anyway."
Once I get this gas tube, this handguard on this gas tube, I don't think I'm going to take it off.
Yeah, so they were talking about the Smith and Wesson Model 10 today on a Daily Show. It was kind of funny because I went to a gun show, first one of the year, this weekend. It was small though because there was two going on at the same time, and I didn't feel like driving another 3 hours to go to the other one. But yeah, this one show, it only had like maybe 100 vendors, and I saw 6 Model 10s. 3 of them were heavy barrel. I've always wanted one, but I don't know. I'd rather have a 357 with a heavy barrel than a 38 with a heavy barrel. But
I'd rather have a 44.
well, I mean, I've already got one, so I mean, and then
I don't. So there you go.
the next 44 one I get's going to be a Super Blackhawk, 8-inch, big, single action. I already did this one. Yeah, so even though my entire Christmas bonus went to shit, I'm going to still get my 4570. I think at the end of the month, I'll pick it up. Trying to beat Matt to it. Be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
All right.
FedEx just dropped off a Smith and Wesson revolver at my door. That's pretty nice.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, I'm a gun dealer. It's a dealer transfer.
Actually, you're actually somebody I should probably talk to at one point.
I'm sticking with the Toyota Corolla being the Glock of cars.
No. It's totally the Honda Civic.
I see more Corollas on the road than I do Civics.
I see
especially
more
these days.
Civics.
Well, I mean, I live in a part where they actually have the Toyota Center and they sell shit tons of them here. So it could just be geographically, relevant.
Well, it was about 3 years ago I heard that the Corolla was the most owned car in the world. Now that might have changed by now.
I think to answer Tony's question, the Suburban of guns is going to be the AK-47.
Then what's the AR-15?
The Ford F-150.
Is that even made in America anymore?
Yes.
Yeah, I think isn't it made in Louisville or some of them? Or is that, I know Ford has a truck plant there. Maybe that's not the F-150.
That's probably it.
I think a 58E would be. Let's see. Dead Horse is talking about what would be a Deagle.
Oh wow! Classic Firearms are selling the C308s for $619 now. I know during Christmas, the Christmas sales, they were selling them for like $599.
How about a Ford Mustang 5.0? That could be a 50 Eagle, because the thing is if you look at the price of the new 5.0, they're pretty expensive. They're a bit flashy. They're very powerful. All the same things that a 50 AE is.
Then
I would say the 5.0 Mustang. That would be my 50 Deagle car. Easily. The Beretta PX4s and 92 FSs, or no, sorry, the Beretta Pico would be my Fiat 500. Small, diminutive. If you abuse it, you'll probably send parts of it across the room. Oh, so G was asking what we should do for a poll of the week. I still think we should stick with how many times will Tom from Weapons Education get kicked out of this year's SHOT Show?
why does he keep getting kicked out? What, is he not doing it right?
No, because sometimes he acts like a douche and he shoots his mouth off and he gets his ass kicked. Like he almost got into a fist fight with somebody the second time he got thrown out last year.
I mean, I've seen his videos. Have you seen his videos?
Yeah, like I like his
Some of
night
his
guard
stuff
video.
is okay. Some of his stuff is okay, except when he's not trying to show off his wife or anything.
I like how he kind of, well, I don't like it, but I mean, I find it kind of awkward how he does that, right? And then he like commands her like she's a damn robot. Hey, bring the camera in over here. Come on, hurry up. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is she a fembot or what?
Who knows? Just remember, try foreplay.
I don't know. I think that'd make a great poll though, because he gets to put in 10 blanks, so it's 1 through 10 how many times he gets kicked out. I think last year it was 2, so that'll give you a baseline to work off of.
Well, why do they keep letting him in if he gets kicked out?
I think he gets kicked out the first day and he sneaks back in the second day before they update "Do not let this asshole in." I don't know.
I don't know either.
It'd be funny though.
Who is
I mean,
this?
I'm not trying to
Who
pick a
is
fight
this?
with the guy. I just think it'd be a funny poll.
What's up, Native?
Oh, I just wondered, who is this guy?
Oh,
He's
a,
on the YouTube Weapons Education.
yeah. Some of his videos are actually pretty informative. So I mean, I'm not ragging on him or anything. And he is one of the
I'm
few
not
owners
either.
of a
Isn't he like down over in Miami?
yeah. And he's one of the few owners of a Smith and Wesson 500. What do they call those things? Emergency. What do they call that? Fuck. I used to want one so bad. Oh, emergency survival. The one with the orange grips and the 2-inch barrel, uncompensated. Whew.
I've seen his videos before. He looks like a hot shot.
I think it's a wild ride, man. I'd love to shoot one. I've seen one for sale in my local gun shows here. There's one seller who has one, but he wants like $3,000 for it, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, that is such a niche gun, you know? It's like you're lucky that I'm even showing interest in it, and now you want to more than double what it sold for originally just because it's exclusive. I'm like, nobody in their right mind is going to buy this and shoot it as regularly as I will, just because I think it's a fun thing to do. But you know, it's a high dollar play toy for somebody, essentially. Like my 3-inch one, that's about as short of a 500 as I can get, you know, and that's only because I actually do need it where I go up north. But that 2-inch one, I just wanted to have it. I want to see if it'll give me a nosebleed from the concussion.
Just like that other gun
Yeah.
gave you?
Yeah, like my Cazul. That shit was
Are you
hilarious.
okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. But you're bleeding. I don't care.
It's like, oh my god, that's so cool. Shockwave did that. Oh well.
Yeah, I'll finish putting this handguard on the gas tube later. I'm too damn tired now.
Wah, wah. Hey, so
I
do
know.
we have like a top 10 thing for today or something?
It's a top 5 video game movies.
Oh, are they doing? Is it movies that already exist, or is there
Movies that are based off of video games.
Oh man, see, I'd rather do a video or movies that we wish came from video games. Like they haven't made a movie yet, or they should make a movie for it.
I know, but that's what we're gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to attend or not. It just depends on what's going on.
I'm trying to. I don't know. I still got this damn rental. I gotta leave shortly anyway. I gotta go take my mom and pick her up from therapy, physical therapy. I'm doing my part to bring back the 380 and the Walther PPK.
The Rufus round.
Yeah. I mean, how else is he shooting down helicopters with a fucking PPK? It's got to be like 380 Rufus or something.
No.
I can dream, damn it.
You can dream and be wrong all at the same time.
There's this company. Shit. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. There's a place called Clark's Custom Cartridges. That's why I always have faith that there might be a 380 Ralphus someday, because this guy makes some badass fucking bullets. He makes like custom incendiary rounds and tracer rounds for like 357 SIG and 44 Magnum. And they're badass, man. Yeah, 357 incendiary fireball round, 20 round box, $50. Shit looks cool, man. He makes them in 380. That's how Bond's shooting down helicopters. There, I'll put it in gun channels if anyone's crazy enough to actually want some of them. Anyway, I gotta take off, man. I gotta go pick up my mom. I'll see you guys when I get home, if I can make it.
Good luck.
Later.
Later. So it's just you and me, Native. I guess it's just me.
Sorry for the quick exit, but I was just calling my gun customer to let him know his gun was here.
Oh, I figured you were logging it in the book.
Well, I have to do that too. I'm
So-
waiting for a call back right now. He was on another line.
So you doing this out of your house, your office? What's
I
how do you do
have
this?
I have a separate building in the back of my house that where the shop is at.
Now, did you have that first, or did you build that later?
I had it right away. I had the building first, and then I built a special room onto that building just for the shop.
Okay. Because
It's out.
I have the land to do it. I just don't have the money to build a building right now.
You're right.
And
And
I want to.
you can do it out of your house, but I wanted it separate in case the ATF ever came in and wanted to do a big inspection. If you've got it in your house, they can go through all your, private possessions in your home. If you have it separate from your house, then they're limited to that building.
Right.
So
That's
I
the only
wanted.
problem I have. But
Mhm.
I heard you can also rent like storage places off site to store some of your inventory, right?
Right, yeah, you can have it, anywhere. It's supposed to be at your place of business. Uh, but I don't know what all the laws are as far as storing your inventory, but you're supposed to do business from whatever address is on your license. You can also go to gun shows, but your main area of business is supposed to be at whatever address is on your license.
Yeah, and I've heard some people make more just traveling and getting the firearms and traveling to gun shows and selling them at gun shows.
A lot of people do that. I've never been interested in that because the thought of sitting there all day and having people walk by staring at me just never has appealed to me. you know.
Here's a question for you: have you ever gone to gun shows looking for inventory?
Yeah, but the shows we have around here, they have the prices are so inflated. I couldn't come out on them. They've just got their prices jacked up so high.
What area are you about?
Southern Indiana.
What part?
Well, you know where Evansville is?
I do.
Okay, I'm about 35 miles northeast of Evansville in Pike County.
You're out there in Pike County, yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in New Albany at one point.
Oh, okay. All right.
And my mother's from Elkhart. My grandmother's from Goshen.
Oh, well, that's cool.
And they go on and on and on about Indiana all the time. So, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's home, but when I was a kid, we lived for 7 years in Arizona, and that was all right. But it was nice to get back home.
You see, that's where I'm from. And I miss Arizona because I miss not having snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hardly have snow here, but I miss, the Arizona weather
Mhm.
without humidity.
Yeah, that was nice. It would have been more fun. See, I lived out there from the time I was 8 until I was 15. And about the time when I was starting to get my driver's license, when it would have really been fun for me to have the mobility of being able to drive, then we moved back. So the time I spent out there wasn't that fun, but when I was getting to the age where it would have been a lot of fun, where I could have went out and been on my own, then, like I say, then Dad decided to move back.
I'm sorry.
I lived in Mesa. Do you know where that's at?
Yeah, I do know where that's at because it's on my birth certificate.
Oh, well, all right. Yeah, we lived there for 7 years.
Yeah, I'm from Mesa, so. You know,
Yeah.
I get shit from Jimmy and G Webs all the time for being from Mesa and being proud of it, but you know, it's better to be proud of being from Mesa than being proud of being from California.
Yeah. Hey, Mesa's a great town. I mean, there's no doubt about that. When we moved out there, it was 40,000 population. By the time we moved
It
back,
used to be a nice place, but
yeah.
nowadays not so much because of all the illegals.
Well, that's true. And we didn't have as bad a problem then. There were a lot of there was, illegals and a lot of stealing going on and all that, but not as bad as now, I'm sure. The last time we were out there was in '83, and I couldn't believe the difference between '76 and '83. I can
That's
I can't imagine how
uh,
it's grown since
I
then.
wa- I was born in '83, so
Oh, is that right?
there we go.
Yeah, we like I say, it was '69 when we moved out there, and '76 when we moved back. So that
I don't know. I think you would have liked it during the '90s because it was nicer during the '90s.
is that right?
Yes, it was nicer.
It was still great in '83, but they had built.
I don't remember it that well because I
Oh,
wasn't born until the later half of the year.
oh yeah,
I, I only got September, October, November, and December of '83. So, but I
you know
don't
what
remember those years much.
do you know what the population is now? When we moved out, it was 140,000. I'm sure it's a lot bigger than that
Oh,
now.
yeah. You wouldn't recognize some parts like Chandler.
Oh, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
Gilbert was just a teeny little town then. I have no
Oh, I
idea
lived in
what it
Gilbert.
is
I
now.
lived in Gilbert. I love downtown because of all the old buildings.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And that's all
You
that
know.
existed when I lived out there.
Yeah, no, they. But when I was living there in '94, '95,
Hmm.
and that's all they had that, and then they built up everything. But the issue is, I liked going down there because they used to have an old style restaurant in Gilbert in one of the old West buildings they had there,
Hmm.
and you know on the windows it had get your vittles here.
That sounds like a good place to eat.
And they had great food. It was great.
Hmm.
Because they were using old West lingo on the windows, so it had to have been great, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I tell you, there were a lot of great places to eat out there. A lot of really good Mexican restaurants. There's a lot I miss about it.
Yeah, well, if you're thinking of going back to Arizona for Monty's Steakhouse in Phoenix, don't bother.
Hmm.
They closed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot has been closed. The Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor was big when I was a kid. I don't know if they even have that out there anymore.
Which one?
Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. It was in Scottsdale at the time. It's probably not there anymore. I think the company still exists, but it's not the same ownership, and I don't know if it's the same place anymore.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. They might have had it. I don't know.
Hmm. It wasn't too far from the Phoenix Zoo at that time.
Nah, they don't have it anymore.
Mm. But yeah, I went to Holmes Elementary and Mesa Junior High, and I I looked on the internet not too long ago, and they've got like 27 high schools in Maricopa County or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, I'm glad
It-
I don't live in Maricopa County now.
yeah, at the time there were 2 high schools in Mesa when I lived out there. 2 high schools.
I'm saying that because they didn't reelect Joe Arpaio. They elected a Democrat. And
Is that right?
He's actually really anti-gun.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
But there's not anything he can really do about it, considering most of the state legislation is like, yeah, we're pro-gun.
Yeah, well, that's good. I didn't know Joe wasn't reelected. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was too, because Joe's a good friend.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, that's too bad.
See, that only proves that everybody knows Joe Arpaio because he's been sheriff for so long.
Right. Yeah, and he's 80 some years old, isn't he?
He's done a good job, though.
Yeah. Oh, he has
I mean,
absolutely.
people give him shit for going after illegals because the border patrol's not doing it. But the issue is, he's just trying to enforce the law. And if someone doesn't enforce the law, who will?
Well, that's right. Yeah. Some people don't want you to enforce the law. That's the problem.
Democrats.
Yeah. No kidding.
The law only applies to them when they're dishing it out or when they're making it. But
Yeah.
otherwise, the law does not apply to them or any of their constituents.
Absolutely. Hmm. Well, they want to have their own law. That's the problem.
Well, newsflash: you can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's true. There's too many of them that just they really don't realize that. I think they're in their own little dream world. Now, do you live in South Carolina?
Well, that's what they tell me.
I thought I'd heard you say that before.
Yeah. I live right outside of Charleston in Walterboro.
Oh, okay.
I just say I live in Charleston because it's the bigger city that everybody knows of.
Right.
I live in one of the small cities because because me and my family, we bought farmland out further out, and we're gonna do something with it. I think we're just gonna do blueberries, but because they grow well out here. But
Yeah.
other than that, we have 30 acres, and it was nice to have my own range.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I live in the country and I can go out behind the garage and shoot all I want.
All right. I think I got it. That's good enough.
I feel sorry for people that have to go to a range to shoot.
Yeah, I do too. But that's only more reason why we need to stay vigilant and not let these liberals take over.
Oh, that's true. I mean, if
Because if we let them take over, they're gonna turn us into Europe.
I think my customer's calling, I'll get back with you. Talk to you later. Okay, we're locked in tomorrow at 5:30, so we got that taken care of.
Awesome. Of course, when I do go and apply for my FFL, I'm not looking at just doing retail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at doing a Type 7
Oh yeah,
because I wanna be able to make guns
yeah.
as
I would,
opposed to just selling them.
yeah. I wouldn't mind. I've got about 6 years to go to retirement, and I wouldn't mind getting into it a little deeper after that. Right now, I just don't have the time, but I would like to, broaden out a little bit as I get the time to do it.
Yeah, I've got the time. I've got the land, but I just don't have the investment, I guess.
Yeah. I was lucky. I already had the building, so I put a few $1,000s into finishing out the room, and that's really the only investment I had, in addition to the building that I already had.
Lucky.
Well, I had built the building about 15 years prior.
Well, oh boy, I'm putting an AK back together right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to bother you.
No, you're not bothering me. It's just I'm letting you know if you hear any shit or any any
Sure.
cursing, it's drawn blood. That's what it is.
Okay.
It always happens when I put this damn thing back together. How is that hard to put on? I don't see that. It's easy to put on. So, let's see if my camera's on. Here. I got the gas tube on.
All right.
Yeah, so I got East German furniture almost all the way on my AK.
Yeah, that looks good.
I've got to do the butt plate, but I've got to order parts for it. So
Yeah, that looks good.
So it's on the AK, good enough. I mean, it's not an exact fit, but hey, it looks nicer and it feels nicer.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I need to get for myself yet is an AK. I've got SKSs and Mosins, and I just never have, taken the plunge to buy an AK.
That's the one thing I don't have. That's the couple things that I don't have. I've got one SKS, a Chinese Type 56, and that was like one of the last cheap ones you could get for like 150 from. I got mine from Royal Tiger Imports.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were the last ones that were selling them. Selling the Chinese imports.
Oh yeah, mine are Yugo.
Yeah, this one it's not a Norinco, it's a military surplus.
Oh, okay.
It's got the old blade bayonet, and it's got a 5-digit serial number.
Oh yeah, wow.
It's hard to find a Chinese rifle with a 5-digit serial number.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so usually they're like in the millions.
Yeah.
Or like the 100,000s. But no, mine's actually in it's got like an 11,000 something serial number.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good one to hang on to.
It's not really. When I got it, it was
really?
I got my rifle in rust instead of Cosmoline.
Oh.
And yes, I did make sure it was rust and not Cosmoline. It was rust.
The first two. Go ahead.
I can only shoot brass out of it right now.
Oh.
It does not like it does not like steel case. So I have to use, and I checked the cases just to see why it doesn't like steel case, and I found out that the inside of the barrel and the chamber is all kinds of wonky.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that's kind of unusual, isn't it?
It'll take brass just fine. I have no problems with brass, but when it comes to steel, Yeah, it doesn't like steel.
Mm. I bought my first two. They were unissued, uh, consecutive serial numbers from a dealer for 125. And the next one I bought after I had my CNR license, and I think I paid about 125 for it, but it had Cosmoline on it, and it took me forever to get that thing cleaned up.
Yeah, when I bought my 1911, I got it from American Tactical Imports right after they moved down here in South Carolina. So my 1911 has Somerville, South Carolina on it instead of Rochester, New York, even though they had the box that came in said Rochester, New York.
Huh.
So apparently they were still going through a lot of those boxes before they had moved.
Yeah.
But it said Somerville, so I'm glad I didn't have to take it back because I don't want anything from New York.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I've got enough things from New York and that I have to deal with, and that's like half of my family.
Oh, I feel for you.
My dad's from New York, and
Oh.
all my aunts and uncles are from New York
Mm.
because they're my dad's siblings. So yeah, enough from New York.
Yeah, I would say so. Do you have any Mosins?
No, I don't have an Mosin. That's the one thing I didn't get because by the time I got into guns and I started buying guns here and there, Mosins went from like $150 to like $250, $300 now.
Yeah.
For a good Mosin. And I'm sorry, but I'm not paying that for a Mosin.
I've got the two M44s, M38, and a 9130. And the M40.
The only one I want is either which short one is the one that can mount the bayonet? Is that the M38 or the M39? Because I know the 44 doesn't have a bayonet lug.
The M44s have bayonets mounted.
Yeah.
The M38, I would say you could put a bayonet on any of them. I would think. I'm not sure. I know my M38 doesn't have a bayonet on it. My 9130 came with a spike bayonet.
Right. So then I'm probably gonna have to get an M44. But the issue is they're kind of pricey now.
Yeah, I got mine. I got the two I've got when I had my CNR license for $48 a piece from Southern Ohio Guns, and they're in great shape. I wish I could have bought a truckload of them.
You mean you couldn't buy a couple of them for yourself as a collector?
Well, I did. I bought two for myself, but as far as buying a 20 or 30 or 50, they really frown on that if you've just got a CNR license because they suspect that you're dealing then.
Right. So you have to do it under a regular
dealer's license. Yeah. You could probably do it, but then they might be knocking on your door, seeing what's going on too.
I'm waiting for the next war. That's all I'm doing. They're still in the Cosmoline.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all you have to say. It's like they're still in the box. I haven't messed with them.
The metal on these weren't too bad. The wood had a bunch of Cosmoline soaked into it, but the actual metal, it wasn't really too hard to clean those up.
Yeah, that's the only problem I get with my SKS is I tried as much as I could to get all the Cosmoline that was, even though it didn't come in Cosmoline, I know the wood smelled like it had been in Cosmoline.
Yeah.
And every time I take it out and it's really hot outside and I'm doing target practice outside during the summer when it's hot, guess what happens?
Yeah.
Cosmoline starts leaking out of the stock.
Yeah, what I did is on that last one that was full of Cosmoline, I took the metal off the wood and wrapped it up in paper towels and then set it out in the sun for like a couple weeks in a row and let all that Cosmoline soak into the paper towels. And that got rid of most of it. And then I put about 7 coats of boiled linseed oil on the wood, and it really put a nice glossy finish on it.
Yeah, I did the black trash bag method.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would work too. Yeah. You put any paper towel around it?
No, just an old towel I was gonna throw away anyways.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean anything to soak the costume.
But the point I'm trying to make is it is really sucked into the wood. So
Yeah.
even doing that, it still can't. It still comes out whenever I'm shooting,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's hot outside. So
I'm sure mine's got it in the wood yet too, but that linseed oil pretty well, excuse me, provides a protective shell around it. So far, none of it's bleeded through.
I may try that then.
But you want to use boiled linseed oil, otherwise it'll cure in about 3 days, and raw linseed oil takes about 3 weeks to cure. But after each coat, I hand rubbed it, and I've got a little buffer wheel. I'd run over it with that too, and then put another coat on it. And after 6 or 7 times of doing that, it's got a pretty nice finish on it.
Good, good. Yeah. They're talking about it in the chat, but as I mentioned earlier about that, the guy who's replacing Joe,
Yeah.
he's also the same guy that is calling illegals guests now in Arizona.
Oh God.
He's that guy. You've heard of that, right?
Oh yeah. That's yeah. Yeah, that's the other side's view. Guess.
I mean, what makes you want to go so far over common sense that you're mentally retarded?
I don't know. I don't understand that side at all. I have no idea what the
I
thought
don't want to
process is.
understand it because then I'd be just as fucked up as they are.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, you really don't want to understand it.
But luckily, Pima County got a Republican sheriff.
Oh, that's good.
And they've had a Democrat sheriff for like 25 years.
Have they really? Well, that's a good change then.
Anyways, yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah. I guess Bloomberg and Obama got their way. They were after Ohio for a long time.
Yeah, and Arpaio went and came out with the whole birth certificate thing again.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
I'm not afraid to show my birth. I'm not afraid to show my birth certificate. I'm from Mesa, Arizona. It says it on the certificate.
There you go.
You know, I mean, Trump has shown his too, just to prove a point.
Yeah. That's
So there is no question that he's not from the United States.
right.
But Obama didn't, and because he didn't, that kind of shows the whole point that there might be some truth to that.
Yeah, that kind of tells you a lot. Now they're showing Meryl Streep on Fox again.
But we only have what till next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally we have till next Friday. Next Friday, Trump gets sworn in, so it doesn't matter what Obama does right now, unless he starts a war.
Yeah.
If he starts a war, then he might get to stay in for another couple days, but I doubt it. if he starts a war, I think there's probably going to be, internal unrest here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Is
I don't think.
we really don't need a war. I know as Republicans are always more gung ho than the Democrats are. Well, they have been in recent years, like in the past, I would say 30, 40 years. Republicans have been more pro war than Democrats have. But the issue is, we're tired of it now too.
Yeah. Well, who's got us into the major wars though? It's been Democrats.
Democrats are the ones that don't want war. They never wanted us in wars in the first place, and they don't ever want to go to war or do anything that makes us show that makes America look like they have strength and a backbone. That's
Right.
not the Democrat way.
No, but it was World War II was FDR.
Well, hold on. That's the thing. The era of FDR type Democrats is
Right.
gone. They've all died and had kids, and that's how we got people like Bernie.
Right. Who was president when the Korean War started? Was that Truman?
That was Truman.
Yeah, so there's another Democrat, and Kennedy got us into Vietnam. So
Well, Kennedy didn't want to go into Vietnam in the first place.
no,
And that's why what's his name killed him.
well, Johnson
Johnson.
kind of he elevated the war, didn't he?
Yeah, Johnson is the one that wanted to go to Vietnam. Wanted to go into Vietnam because his wife was a what she had stock in one of the major contractors that was making weapons and vehicles for the United States military.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he got rich off of that.
Mm-hmm.
If she was one of the major stockholders.
Oh, okay.
So it makes a lot of sense that he wants to go to war. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why Johnson wanted to go to war. But Kennedy didn't want to go to war originally. He would rather have just stayed out.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, I agree. Vietnam wasn't the greatest war we've ever had. I mean, we did much better. Well, we didn't really do much better with Korea, but I would say versus Vietnam, I think we did better with Korea.
Yeah, at least we didn't get chased out like we did in Vietnam.
Yeah. Well, with Vietnam, the problem is the media that was going after Trump all the time, they were going after the army and showing how bad the army is doing and how bad the war was to make everybody not want who want to do anything for the Vietnam War.
Right.
But nobody was crying or complaining when we originally went into Iraq or Afghanistan because, well, we got fucking attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody complains about that, but they complain about Syria and all that when we hardly did anything.
Right.
Because, that was their job.
Well, it was the consensus that Iraq had WMDs at that time. And they want to forget that.
Yeah, they were also building one of those long-range artillery guns too.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it's one of those artillery guns that was like a mile or two long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they ever finished it, but the issue is they were building one.
That sounds like a Hitler gun. That's what he liked, is big, long guns.
Yeah, well, the issue is this one was more of I think it was like a type of railgun.
Oh, yeah. That would not be good.
It was ridiculous, but they never finished it. And they killed off the designer when he was in Germany, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Hmm. Well, I think our biggest mistake in Iraq was when Obama pulled out and just, he just totally abandoned everybody over there, and that's when most of the chaos broke out. But hindsight is 2020. You can second guess yourself to death.
Apparently, Arpaio proves that Obama's selective service was faked too.
I don't doubt that.
And he says that's more upsetting than the birth thing. I mean, how fair that I and my fellow man had to let sign up or face prison, but Obama
Yeah.
didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't even complain about it. When I turned 18, I signed that damn paper.
Yeah. Oh, I did too.
I
Mhm.
almost actually just went, and joined the military after that.
Mhm.
But I didn't. I decided not to. Because at the initial part of the, going into Iraq and Afghanistan, we had a lot of people coming back because of friendly fire.
Yeah.
You remember hearing about that? Or just,
Yeah.
via fire in general?
Yeah. I remember that.
And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind fighting for my country. I just want to do it safely.
Well, I was going to, and my
And
dad.
I know I'm being a hypocrite at that point, but
No. Well, my dad was a World War II veteran. He fought in North Africa and Italy, and he talked me out of it. I was going to go into the Air Force. He talked me out of it. He said, "I want something better than that for you," because I think he was afraid I would get into the same situation he was in. He saw some rough battles. He earned 5 Bronze Stars for the battles he fought in, and he was just scared to death that I would get into the same quagmire that he got into.
my grandfather was a Korean War veteran, and he's like, if you want to join the military, you have to go and join supply, because that's what I did. And I go,
Mhm.
what if I don't want to do supply? He's like, no, I want you to live, so go and join supply.
Yeah, there you go.
Because when they drafted him, but he went and joined the army and said, I want to do supply, and they let him do supply, so he didn't have to go over and fight in the Korean War. But
Mhm.
the thing is, just because he didn't have to go and fight on the front lines in Korea does not mean that he did any less of a job than anybody else in the military.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's all.
Because
There's all
if he
necessary.
hadn't done his job properly and made sure that all the supplies got to where they were going to, then guess what? They wouldn't have done half as well as they did in Korea.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So, yeah, he didn't have to leave the United States. He was working in one of the warehouses in California, but the thing is, he did his job, and he did it for the country because he loves America.
Hmm.
He loved America.
Right. And
But
he gave up several years of his life to do that.
so, just because he didn't fight doesn't mean he's not a veteran. He's a
No,
veteran.
that's absolutely.
That's what some people don't get. Yeah, sure. It's everybody wants to be, they glorify heroes that go out and fight on the front lines, but they never glorify the people that, work in the background, like the people that have to, because they couldn't be on the front lines. They had to take desk jobs, or they had to take they had to do other jobs in the military because they weren't cleared for combat. That doesn't mean that they don't count, and they didn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree.
And I don't think it's right that some people go on and say, well, if you didn't fight in the war, you don't really matter.
Oh, I know. Yeah, a lot of people are that way.
Because some people have been in the military and they say that. Well, they've been in the military. They have the right to their own opinion. I don't agree with their opinion, but
Hmm.
it's their opinion.
Yeah,
And then there's
that's
some
true.
people who've never been in the military and they try and say that. And those are the people I get angry with.
Yeah, yeah, really.
And I'm not angry at them per se. I'm just angry that my grandfather had to go and fight to, preserve America, to let some dumbass say that.
Yeah, that's true.
Or what my uncle he was in Granada and Desert Storm, apparently, from what I was told. It's like my mother was telling me the other day, yeah, your uncle was in Granada as well as Desert Storm, not just one. And I'm like, really? He never mentioned Granada. He always mentioned Desert Storm. It's primarily because they let him command a an Abrams.
Hmm. Now I had my uncle, my dad's younger brother, was a Marine at Guadalcanal, and he had some interesting stories to tell about that.
Yeah.
They went for weeks without food.
Anyways, but yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah.
My uncle's pretty darn cool though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a tough generation. Some of the things they did and saw and went through. Thank God we'll never see that, or I hope we never see that.
Oh well, if we let the liberals have their way, we may see another world war, but it won't be with Europe. I'll tell you that it'll be with China
Yeah, I'm
or
afraid
Russia.
so. Right.
We'll have China or Russia, which is another superpower, which they apparently they think is a superpower, but it's not really so much anymore. I mean, yeah, they got a lot of landmass, but they're not as rich as they were before, like in the 60s and 70s.
No, and their military is not what it used to be either.
No, it's not as great as it was like in the 1970s. Before the Soviet Union started going downhill in the late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
And I saw something on TV today because I was watching Fox, and they were going over the whole Russian hacking thing, and some lady on Fox News was saying that we overthrew communism. We didn't fucking overthrow communism, because she said we overthrew the Soviet Union. We didn't overthrow the Soviet Union. They went fucking belly up. They collapsed.
They failed from within.
You didn't beat them per se because you were better. You were just able to hold out longer than they were and let them collapse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the weakness of communism. You give it long enough and it will fail.
We may have contributed to their collapsing, but they collapsed on their own.
Mm-hmm.
They fell on their face. So, anyways, who else do we have in here? Just Sean. Is Sean even there?
I don't know.
I mean, he's in here. Did he forget to turn it off or whatnot? Should I kick him out?
I don't see a mute icon on his avatar or whatever you call
it. Yeah, I'll mute him just to be sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not either. All right. Anyways, so yeah. I mean, the only thing I have in my backyard that I could even possibly use for a building is just a lean-to shed. And yeah, that won't look good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that might work for like a workshop if I beef it up a little bit and fix it up, but it's not going to work as like an actual building.
Yeah, I tell you, when before you get your license, you have an ATF agent come out, and they'll do anywhere from a 60 to 90-minute interview with you. And we did that right at the kitchen table. And I told him where the business was going to be, and he never went out to look at it. And that might just be different from one agent to another. He never went out to look at it, to inspect it or anything. So I don't, like I said, you may have different luck than I had.
Well, I am gonna fix up that lean-to because I need a proper workshop, because right now I'm doing it on my on my carport.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine right now for me if I'm just working on my own stuff. But if I'm building stuff, yeah, I want an actual building.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've got 30 acres out back that I could build a building on, but the problem is, guess what? No funding.
Yeah, that's always the kicker, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, I wish I had the funding to do something like that, but right now it's falling through.
Hmm.
I mean, do you have like a detached garage that you did it in, or?
It's basically it's a 30 by 40 foot uh pole type building, and half of it is garage, and then the other half I turned into shop. I walled it off. It's all nice and insulated and paneled and everything, and it's locked up separately. It's a separate room within that building.
Okay, so do you actually park your cars in there?
We could if I've got a tractor in there now and lawnmowers in the garage in the garage part, but that like I say is walled off and separate from the gun shop.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at doing something like that, but again, how much did that cost you to have built, or it come with a
Well,
house?
no, I had it built. Boy, now it would probably be 20,000 for that for the whole building.
Yeah,
At the time, it was around 10, but that's been 25 years ago. So I don't. Who knows what it would cost now?
right now
Which I mean,
without a foundation, it's probably going to cost me like 10.
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have to build a 30 by 40. What it actually cost me to complete the gun shop portion is maybe 2,500.
I'm not looking at doing a shop, as I said. I'm getting an FFL. I'm getting a
Hmm.
7, which I could have a shop because the 7 allows you to do retail and manufacturing,
Yeah,
and they require gunsmiths to file as a 7 right now until Trump changes it
yeah.
or Congress.
Hmm.
So I have to do that. So I could be a retail and manufacturer of firearms and ammunition.
Hmm.
But if I'm going that route and I go that far, I am going to go and see and apply and see if I can get that Type 2 SOT, because
Hmm.
then I can make the fun switch.
Hmm. Yeah, that would be nice.
And then the sheriff department here locally, which is the Republican sheriff, he's building a new building across the street, just down the road from me. So, yeah, hey, customer right there.
Yeah, there you go.
So, well, we'll see how that works out.
Hmm.
But that was my plan. He hasn't done anything to the land yet, but he's got his sign right there on that land
Hmm.
because they cut the trees down last year. Put a
So they're,
sign up.
they're getting ready there now. Hey, I'm gonna have to mute for a little bit. I've got a little paperwork to take care of.
Good luck.
Uh, I'll hang in here, but I'm gonna mute. I'll talk to you later, and take care.
All right, later. Oh boy. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go get something to drink. Oh no. Turn your camera off unless you want it on. That was wonderful. Anyways, does anybody else want to jump in here and talk? Otherwise, I can just read what Enrique's saying in the chat. Nah, nothing here in South Carolina. We've got a bunch of different advocacy groups, but none of them seem to do anything that I could actively see. I mean, they might lobby, but that's as far as they go. They don't do any. You don't hear them in the news. Granted, yes, I know the news is skewed, but they don't really say what they're doing in South Carolina. I don't know if they're doing anything. That's the point. But it's good that things are happening in Arizona. That's good.
Hey, I'm still here. I'm gonna have to drop out and take a shower here pretty soon. But when does Matt's chat start?
I don't know. Whenever he decides to hand links out, and when he does, I'm dropping this and joining that.
Okay, understandable.
So, the people won't have to listen to silence much longer.
Yeah, it's a shame nobody else came onto the chat.
Maybe Rolf is busy, so he couldn't get on because he's normally on these chats.
Okay.
Raphael, he lives in Florida.
Yeah, I've seen him several times on chats. Seems like
he just got that AMD 63, and he's so happy about that.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
And he took my recommendation on a handgun, which is hilarious, which is great.
Oh, really? What was that?
He got a Beretta 92S.
Oh, that's a good gun. Yeah.
You know, the Italian trains.
Yeah, cool gun.
I mean, at the price, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Because not Classic, but Southern Ohio Guns has them on sale for like $279 still.
Yeah, I do a lot of business with them. They're a pretty good company.
For Beretta 92, $279 is a great deal, even if you have to pay for shipping and FFL fee, because you're still getting an under $600 92.
Yeah, that's
which
good
is usually unheard of.
Right.
Because I've looked, and if I want an M9, $600. If I want a 92 FS, it's like $580 something.
Mm-hmm.
That's still pretty pricey for just a handgun. But granted, I know that they go much higher, and they vary, greatly depending on what you want and depending on what is available. So, I know I shouldn't complain, but I'm going to complain when, some guns cost almost the same amount of money as a car.
Yeah.
I'm going to complain because there's no reason.
No, absolutely not.
Inflation, man, inflation.
Yeah, it's a killer.
You know, I hadn't realized that the price of guns have stayed the same even after, the Cold War spending. Where, it was $5 million for a hammer, $10 million for a toilet seat. I hadn't realized guns were adopting that kind of pricing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, I am kind of halfway joking about this, but,
Yeah.
the prices have gone up. Granted, they're getting a little better now because I've seen some of the prices go down, but that's just at certain retailers. That's not all across the board yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I deal with 3 or 4 different distributors or wholesalers, and there's a pretty wide range of prices between just those 3 or 4. It's surprising how much cheaper you can get a gun from one than you can another, and they pretty much get the guns for the same price.
Yeah, it's just. Anyways, it's just something to take note of if you haven't checked in a while. I know some people haven't, and they just have guns and they've kept them for a while. They haven't checked on price of getting new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like that, and then there's the people who get stuff all the time, and then there's just the people like me who doesn't get everything all the time, but looks just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, it pays to shop around, that's for sure.
I mean, granted, I've had to do some work to it, and I have added stuff onto it, but I got my C308 for $500.
Wow.
And I got it when the going rate was like $700 was a good price for one new.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got mine used, so it's got a little character. It's got its own quirks, so I've been working on it, but it runs reliably now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Well,
good luck.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You too. I'm gonna have to drop out, but it's been good talking to you. You take care.
You too.
What's up, everybody? Hello? Is anybody out there? Just not if you can hear me. Can you show me where it hurts? Yeah, I didn't leave, G-Webs. I'm here. I wonder if it showed me leaving when I minimized to go back to gun channels or something. But no, I'm here. And G-Webs, to answer your comment on Instagram, no, there are no holes in the hotel room. It's freaking badass, man. There's something about traveling a bunch, man. I finally got Platinum Elite. The lady upgraded me for free. I was looking at the door. You know how it normally says like the price per night or whatever? That's $1,000 a night room. So that's pretty awesome. I don't know what I'm going to do in the living room. I listen to The Daily Show sitting on the couch just because I could. But normally I like to sit in bed when I'm watching TV, so I don't know. I'm trying to make the best of it. Like, use as much as I can. While you guys are talking in the chat, it's hard for me to switch back and forth. Jump in the Hangout. At least for a little bit till Matt starts. But hello, all that said hi to me. I did see it. I'm switching back and forth. Come on, everybody, and join the chat. Come on, just join the chat. If you want to know where it's at, you gotta join the chat. Now I'm in this one. I might go back to pinks. Who knows? Nope, I tricked you. I came back to this one. Haha. Try and find me now. Back to Night Strikes chat.
All right, I'm going to shut this down. Thanks for listening to the dead air. Sorry about that. But I'm going to kill it. Pink, your turn.